Hello, welcome to day 5 or 6, maybe 7, 6 or 7 of
6, 7.
the 31 days of Halloween hullabah.
Boo.
And it is I, Will, here with my lovely, lovely wife. Your name again was...
Dominique.
I thought so. So we are here today to talk about another zombie movie in the 31 days of zombie movies, 31 days of Halloween hullabah.
That's not a real word.
Boo. And we are here today to talk about a different kind of zombie film, Warm Bodies. And my wife right now is going to read the IMDb synopsis of what Warm Bodies is about.
I was trying to take my glasses off so you don't see the glare. That's not the word. After a highly unusual zombie saves a still living girl from an attack, the two form a relationship that sets in motion events that might transform the entire lifeless world.
Do you think that synopsis is an accurate representation of what happens in the movie?
I don't even know what that synopsis means.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good way to put what happens in the movie. So if you were doing the synopsis for this movie, what would you say? It's a movie about what?
One zombie who falls in love with a girl, and they change the world.
Okay. I mean, that was kind of the IMDb synopsis, but yeah. I would say it's a movie about a zombie that bridges the gap between, because you got to put synopsis as vague because you don't want to give away the whole movie. So you would say a zombie,
Mine was the vaguest.
a zombie and a zombie boy, a zombie girl bridge the gap between humans and zombies to fight an even bigger threat. Not bad. Not bad. And the bigger threat, so let's first talk about, before we get into the nuts and bolts of what the movie actually is, let's talk about what the movie presents. It presents a movie where zombies are real. Zombies have happened. Zombies are now living in, and this has been explored in other movies like Dawn of the Dead and like Shaun of the Dead, where the zombies are stuck in a routine memory of what they think they used to do. Right? So we see...
Is that what classifies a zombie?
It's like, because in the movies where there's like social commentaries about zombies, it's like, oh, zombies are also living people who are just kind of slumbering through life, like doing the same things over and over again. So in like this movie, they imagine, oh, here's a janitor. I imagine him when he was alive also being a janitor. He just the only thing he remembers from his human life is that he was a janitor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in this movie, we see the guy, there's the wand guy at the airport. He's always wanding people. What are those people called? You used to work at an airport. TSA guy. So there's a TSA guy. He used to be a TSA guy. He's still a zombie TSA guy. Now, R, who is the main character, this is our second take because the first one she did not like. But in our first take, we discussed, is R the only zombie that is self-aware about being a zombie who's just kind of meandering through life? Is he the only one who thinks the way that he does?
No.
Who else do you think thinks the way that he does?
His best friend. But I think it's... So, we've had a hot 15 minutes between takes to think about this. They're the only ones that have a zombie relationship.
Yes. Non-sexual.
Oh, God. So, they are already starting like this connection, kind of.
Yes, where they're quote-unquote friends.
Yeah.
And they do a very funny scene in the beginning of the movie where the movie's told through the voice... The movie's told through the voiceover of the Nicholas Hoult character, who is named R. Mm-hmm. And it's told through him voicing over and doing a narration of like what his life is like, what the world is now like, what happens when he meets the girl and like the human girl and falls in love with her. But in his narration, it is said that he has a best friend. It's the Rob Corddry character, whose name I don't know in the movie. Do you remember his name in the movie? His best friend?
Did they say it?
I think they do.
Oh, I don't know.
So his best friend in the movie is Rob Corddry's character. They sit at a bar together and then they stare longingly at each other's eyes. Don't make out. They never make out unless we didn't watch the deleted scenes, so they might make out in the deleted scenes.
Don't watch ours.
But they just quietly grunt at each other and stare at each other until, again, this is my question. When the R character is hanging out with the girl, he starts to talk more. So does interactions with the human make the zombies more human?
Yeah,
Or
probably.
is it the connection?
I think it's just a connection in general.
So,
But you're like feeding off the type of connection. So when the BFFs were connecting non-sexually, they're just grunting, and so there's no like evolution of a grunt. But because he was having a connection with a human, she has like human thoughts and like variety to it.
also, that reminds me, after this recording, her and I are going to embrace in a human way with a lot of grunting. If you know what I mean.
We're not.
But
12 o'clock at night.
I have work in the morning. I've work tomorrow night, so I don't have to really be up technically till about 5 p.m. tomorrow.
That's also not true. You're gonna be with our kid at 7.
True. So, okay, so let's just walk through the movie slowly. So we meet R, well, not that slowly. We meet R, him and his zombie friends, like they travel in groups to hunt. They go and hunt. That's where they meet this girl who lives in this like walled off community by her dad, John
She's like
Malkovich.
the president's daughter.
The president's daughter. We found out way too late in this movie that this is basically a Romeo and Juliet like rewrite, but Romeo is a zombie.
And it happened while they were on a balcony.
Yes. Real late into the movie to make that connection, but still. So she's the president's daughter, or whatever John Malkovich's character is supposed to be. They are trying to get medical supplies, I believe. They're trying to get medicine.
It was their mission.
Yes, so their entire group, except the main chick and the main chick's best friend, get eaten by zombies. And then the R character eats the main girl's zombie's boyfriend's brain, which does he fall in love with the girl just because he eat the boy?
No.
He falls in love with her just because he sees her and is
Yeah.
like, she's hot.
Yeah, remember the boyfriend like Sparta? Is that the movie? Sparta kicked him or something and he fell on the ground.
Yes. No, he shot him and he fell on the ground. And then
I mean, that's up for debate. He either hit him with a gun, shot him, or like kicked him. Somehow he ended up on the ground.
And then the zombie.
And then while he was on the ground, he looked at her, Julia, something.
J name.
She was trying to shoot the other zombies, but he hadn't eaten the boyfriend yet.
Oh, okay. So he just fell in love with her because she's like the first hot person he's seen. Again, there's parts of this movie that are up for interpretation. So the interpretation is he thinks she's attractive.
Yeah, and he's trying to get it in.
And he's trying to get it in. It makes his zombie...
Stop. You're done. Go ahead.
Go da-doing, doing, doing. And so... And then... what is it? Shout out to Eminem, who is a huge fan of this channel. So again, in another confusing part of the movie, but it does set up the rest of the movie. He like wipes blood on her cheek.
You missed the brain eating part.
Oh, so he eats the boyfriend's brain. And when a zombie eats a brain in this movie, it shows them memories and the life that the person they are eating the brains of lived. But does it only do that for him, or does it do it for all zombies?
Well, that was my question. Does anybody else like the brain? I feel like there was a point in there where he was like, some people don't like that, and so they like don't eat the brains, but he is like longing for a connection, and so he's like, that's my shit.
Well, yeah, because in the earlier opening monologue, we find out that he's just kind of like has no purpose in life, but is looking for a purpose. But because he's a zombie, his only purpose is to like hunt and eat and collect knickknacks in his plain bachelor pad.
Yes.
So he kidnaps this woman he thinks is hot. He wipes blood on her face, which completely masks the human smell of her so she can walk among the zombies, which again, a tiny thing of blood is enough to give like full, but again, zombies are dumb, so I guess it's just like the littlest thing tricks them kind of thing. I guess. I don't know. But he takes her back to his zombie bachelor pad with all the zombies. At multiple points, she is out in the open with like 6 zombies and could easily run away.
Wait, now I have a question. So he wipes the blood on her face
Yes.
because the zombies can smell humans.
Yes.
But the bonies hear heartbeats?
That is a great question. That is a great. Well, they also do smell though. So
So they
maybe
smell heartbeats?
well the heartbeats pump blood, right? So maybe they smell the blood pumping? Like that differentiates.
Yeah, but the further down you go, the more your senses evolve.
Well, we'll get to the bonies because I have questions about the logic of the bonies. But the bonies, so the world is set up in the first 10 minutes actually pretty well, where there's now 3 classes of humans. There's regular humans, there's zombies, and then there's bonies. And bonies are humans that have turned into zombies that have given up on basically their humanity, rip the skin off themselves where they're just all skeleton, where they're just all bones. So that's why they're called bonies. And it's established early on that the bonies eat anything with a heartbeat. So then when the zombies start growing and getting closer back to humanity because of the connection of R and we're just going to call it Juliet. R and Juliet, it gives the zombies.
That's not her name.
I know. Well, you have IMDb. What is her name?
I
It's
know.
but so the heartbeats like alert the bonies to where they usually just leave the zombies alone and like
Julie.
it is Julie. Okay. So Julie, the relationship between R and Julie unite the zombies and start bringing them closer to humanity, which then alerts the bonies to the zombies who usually they just ignore
Correct.
because they only care about things that are like have a heartbeat,
Yes.
right? So now she gets back to the zombie bachelor pad. She's in this airplane for like
But we still don't know why she goes with him.
I don't. Well, yeah, that's never explained because again, he like literally just like barely grabs her and is just like follow me and then lets go and then she just does while her best friend is like looking on in horror and then obviously her dad sends out like search parties to like go find her because she's been kidnapped by the zombie. But then the zombie and her start like bonding in the airplane. He's showing her like her knickknacks,
The records.
the records. He's playing songs for her. She's like, "What are you?"
The playlist was fire.
Actually, the music in this movie was actually very good. The song choices in this movie were good, and the score was good. I liked most of the things in this movie, including the ideas of it. I just think they could have done more with it. Like it could have been more, a little less like, oh, what is it? Eating brains gives us memories. Like a little bit less of that and a little more like complicated zombie stuff. But again, it's not that kind of movie. It's a romantic comedy.
It was great.
Yeah, there's not, and even how funny do you think this movie is? Funny enough?
Yeah, it's funny enough. I still think there are a lot of missed opportunities for like callbacks that they could have made where it would have made it funnier.
Yeah, a lot of, again, there's a prime spot for you think would be a great callback joke where the movie is, you see a lot of the main character Nicholas Holt's like monologue throughout the movie where he's like talking about certain scenes. He's pretending to be a human around other humans and there's a person staring at him and he's like, oh, this is my chance to say something human. And then instead of saying something that was set up earlier that wouldn't have made sense in like the context that it was doing, it would have been a good place for a joke. He kind of just says like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
And that felt like a giant missed opportunity.
Well, that was the same thing when they were in the house and he was sleeping on the floor.
Yes.
And not sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, so zombies don't sleep, and that becomes a big part.
They don't dream either.
Well, that becomes a big part of the movie is he likes eating brains because it's the closest thing you get to dreaming because you live somebody else's memories. But then so the zombies were fast rewind a little bit. So they're in the airplane, they're getting closer together. She escapes because we the audience and him keeps telling we the audience think that she can leave at any time and he's just keeping her in the airplane because he's like
In love with
attracted
her.
to her and like wants to get to know her. But and then she is finally like, he's probably lying. I'm gonna escape. It's not dangerous. And then she gets out of the plane and there are a bunch of zombies around and it is dangerous.
Yeah, they smell her.
Yes.
Because she's no longer covered with blood on her cheek.
Yeah, so then and well, it's not even covered. It's a little line. Like
Yeah.
and then he puts a little line of blood on her zombie goo or whatever, and then she like blends in, and then the zombies start like noticing these two have this like relationship, and it starts igniting something in the other zombies where now they're longing for like again, are they just longing for connection or are they longing for human connection?
I think they're like just longing for connection. That's why him and his best friend weren't so far along in the process. And some of the other zombies towards the end too were like they were becoming coherent, but they weren't as far like progressed as those two because those two were the only ones in the beginning that showed like meeting at the bar and I meet with my best friend every day.
That makes sense. Because then the zombies, after they are like, see these two embracing, like they start getting humanity back. They see a poster on the wall of like two people holding hands. And all of a sudden, it gives all the zombies who are looking at this like heartbeats. And they're starting to become more human, which alerts the bonies that now all of a sudden these zombies are turning back to human, which makes them like ideal prey for the bonies.
Yes.
So then after this, they go back where what happens after this? Where they're leaving the airport for what reason? Just to get home, right? Like she's just going.
Oh, he finally tells her that she can leave.
And so he escorts her to like a nearby neighborhood.
She escorts him. She drives the car.
Oh, that's
true.
true.
And she's like, I know this neighborhood. It's the last one my dad evacuated.
Yeah, and then they are in a house, and then he's laying on the floor while she sleeps upstairs. This is the first hints where she's kind of into him because she's like, if you want to come upstairs, like I'm scared of this house, like you can protect me basically. And then she basically undresses in front of him.
Correct.
And then he's like, whoa, these old bones are shaking.
Stop it.
You know? And then
this is the first time though that he out loud says he ate her boyfriend.
Yes, which leads to her leaving him alone in the house. Then he's depressed. He's going back. He runs into his zombie friends, and his zombie friends are like, "Buddy, we're dreaming now. So whatever you're cooking, I want a big old bowl of it." And so
I don't think that's what they said.
the word for word dialogue. So then they follow him to the compound, or no. They follow him to what, like like a subway station.
Yeah,
like
because
underground.
he remembered this pathway to get into the compound based from eating the brains
of the boyfriend.
Correct.
The boyfriend's memories.
Correct.
So then he goes there. He has the Romeo Juliet like scene where the best friend is like, "Oh my God, you're here. You followed him. This is the zombie you've been telling me about." And then they put makeup on him, bring him to the dad.
He never changes clothes.
Yeah, he takes a shower. And also, this is my question, because the whole time when he's walking around the humans and she's around him, smell is never mentioned. So you would think if you're a zombie, presumably this guy's been a zombie for months to a year. What is it? Like you said, he's not like that far along in the zombie process.
They built an entire wall or like compound. I don't know how long a wall takes to build, but that seems like a big project. That
is true. Well, it's also never stated how long the zombie apocalypse has been going on, or if we don't learn any of his backstory previous to him being a zombie.
No, he doesn't remember it.
So we don't, and then he never remembers it. We never learn anything. We never learn how long he's been a zombie or anything like that. So That's all up for interpretation. So the because he might have been turned a zombie after the world has already like been zombified, you know? So then the friend and the main girl put makeup on him after he takes a shower, gets back into the same clothes, which is gross. And then she says to him, like, wow, like the best friend says, wow, you don't have like a corpse, like you don't smell bad at all. Which makes no sense because he's in dirty, gross clothes and he has her boyfriend's brains still in his pocket.
No, he might have ate them all.
Do we see him eat more of it after that moment? Probably not.
Yeah, because remember when she leaves the airplane, he's sitting at the front of the airplane. He like spits them out.
Oh, that's true. Because
I think that was the last time.
So then, well, he had brains in his pocket. Again, I can't imagine brains smell good.
How many brains have you smelled?
7.
Gross.
So then after this, what is it? The dad is like, oh, my mom, or your mom was killed by a zombie. Like, now you have a zombie boyfriend? Ay caramba. That's a real line from the movie. And then,
it's not.
Imagine John Malkovich saying "ay caramba," and then it's what is it? The best friends like puts a gun on him and is just like, "Well, you can't stop him now, Capitan." Like it's gonna. Again, whoever wrote this movie,
wild.
Great job.
That's your interpretation.
But so then the end becomes the zombies are uniting behind R and Julia because they've like ignited. Sorry, Julie. I don't know why I keep saying Julia. The J name, Gulia. So, which actually makes sense because in Night of the Living Dead, in that movie they're called ghouls, not zombies. So for her name to be, we're gonna change it to Gulia. So
it's Julia Gulia. It's from another movie.
I know, but in this movie, her name is just Gulia. R and Gulia. So Gulia and the zombies have united behind Gulia and R's relationship because it's resparking humanity. Kevin, don't talk to me like that. But so Gulia and R have united the zombies against the Bonies because this is my main. All the other stuff is little nitpicks. This is my main gripe about the movie, which is the Bonies have been established to have lost their humanity, and they are now just creatures that are just looking to feed, right? Like hunt and feed.
Yeah.
With no humanity. So then when the zombies start getting heartbeats, all of a sudden the Bonies now are on a mission to go get Gulia and R and just like take them out because of the thing they've united. But how do they have the capacity to think like this logically? Because again, we've seen the zombies up until this point. They all just shuffle around the same thing and like do nothing. So how do the Bonies logically have this kind of wherewithal and mindset to like formulate a plan and then go hunt together? Get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I think that because they're like, I don't want to say de-evolving, that's not a word, but like evolving more like savagely. Like they can now run really fast all of a sudden, and now they don't just smell humans, they smell heartbeats. Like,
yeah, I guess that would just be, I just wanted a more explanation of how they like hunt, or like how the Bonies are more advanced like savages than like the zombies that are just doing it to like because they need to eat, not be. And like most of the time it was like the zombies are like, oh, we're just hungry, like they're not doing it with like malice, right? Like we even see our character say like, I don't want to kill people, but you know it's the only way to eat, like that kind of thing. So then the Bonies, the zombies and the humans unite against the Bonies, and then at the end of the movie, Gulia is saved by R because they jump out of a window into a fountain. She thinks R protects her from the fall, wakes up, and then they just start making out in a fountain.
Oh no. Are you gonna start this conversation?
Yes, I am. They start making out in a fountain when he's still a zombie, but then the making out like changes his pupils to where he's human again, and we see his heart beating and blood pumping through his body now. So this begs the question, If a zombie bite,
Nobody asked this question but you.
if a zombie bite turns you into a zombie, is it what part of the bite is what turns you into a zombie? Because
the saliva circulating in your bloodstream.
Yeah, so then she's making out with a zombie. Why is she not turning into a zombie?
Yeah, but when you make out, does it go into your bloodstream?
I'm assuming so. Why? I'm not a doctor. Are you a doctor?
You're not a doctor?
I'm not a doctor. I lied. And all those degrees on the wall right there are fake. They're from DeVry. But but then that also begged the question during the movie, which you asked, which was, do other bodily fluids from zombies?
I did not ask this.
And I was like, ma'am, we have children together. This is disgusting.
You asked this question. And my response to you is, who is allowing a zombie close enough to smash?
But this chick did... She
did not smash a zombie in this movie.
It was implied she wanted to smash when she invited him, still very clearly much a zombie, upstairs to protect her. And we don't keep shame around here. That's true. And again, those bones were rattling. But so then after this, the dad shows up to the fountain and she's like, Dad, this is my zombie boyfriend. And then he's like and he's like, no, daughter of mine's gonna be dating a zombie. So then
because her mom was eaten by a zombie.
Yeah.
If I was eaten by a zombie and our kids brought home a zombie girlfriend, you should revenge my death.
Well, it's avenge.
Oh.
I should, but I'd be like, I can't avenge your death. I can't revenge a death. So I'd just be like, if she's nice and the kids are happy and she's not biting them and turning them into zombies, like, we just want our kids to be happy.
I mean, true.
If they're in this situation, their hypothetical mom died in a car accident, I wouldn't be like,
stop.
You can never drive a car. But so then the end of the movie, R gets shot and then he's bleeding. Originally, I thought he was shot in the heart. He was not. He was shot in like the shoulder and he's just bleeding. And when he's bleeding,
and nobody helps him.
Nobody helps him. And then they're also just like, all right, get in the car. We're going on a road trip. And he's also just bleeding now as a human from a gunshot wound. Because in this movie, if you gain back your humanity as a zombie, you just become a human again. Which I do like the idea of, even though you think about it for 5 seconds and it makes no sense. Where is the blood in his body when he is a zombie? Because we see him get shot or stabbed multiple times and no blood comes out. But then when he's a human, he gets shot once and it's like pools of blood.
Hot take. What if when you become a zombie, obviously your blood stops pumping and like circulating, and then it just gets like solidified into your body, which is why they walk so slow, because it's so heavy.
That's actually the best take I've ever heard on a movie ever. That's actually really good.
Thank you.
You should write a zombie movie.
When his heart starts pumping again, it like, because remember at one point she was like, "You're warmer than I remember." Hey. But
and then he was like, these bones are shaking.
But then like his body's like warming up, so the blood's starting to like move around a little bit, because then at one point he like runs, but he doesn't run as fast as the bonies.
But then the only logical fallacy in this hot take is
not talking about phallic things.
We are the bones. But the bonies technically would have the same blood, but they can run fast.
No, they don't have any blood. They're just skeletons.
That's okay. But okay, you know what? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this theory. So you think the bonies can run fast because they basically ripped all the weight off them?
They have no blood. They ripped all their skin off. There's like nothing there but bones and like this savage drive to like feed.
This is so much better than our first take. This is good.
I mean, the first one was really funny.
The first one was more funnier. We were funnier in the first one, but this one's more informative. And we're actually having a discussion instead of me just talking. But so yeah, then end of the movie. I mean, that's basically it. Like now zombies have reintegrated back into humans, And
But this would have been a perfect part for a callback, because the best friend, when they're looking at the
Corddry.
hand holding thing in the window that starts their heart pumping, he thinks about his wife. And we don't know what happens to her. We don't know if she's a zombie. We don't know if she's dead. At the end of the movie, they should have brought her back, but instead they bring back a rando in a park.
Who, like, he gives her umbrella, or he shares his umbrella with her,
Yeah.
which also is true, because what I think would have happened, especially because it's like a romantic comedy and it would have been funny, is he should have just shown up like back at his house and been like, "Hey, I'm back. Like, you know, zombies are humans again." And then she could have
And
been
then we
like,
would have found out if bodily fluids like turn others into zombies.
yeah. Because if she was a zombie, then them reconnecting would turn them human, right? And if she is human, him reconnecting with her would have turned him human. So win-win scenario right there. So final thoughts on Warm Bodies. What would you give it 1 out of 10?
7. I don't watch scary movies or zombie movies. Refuse. And this one was okay.
Yeah. And on 31 Days of Hullaba.
Boo.
Thank you. I just wanted to do 31 days of zombie movies, but get a good mix and a different collection and, you know, different examples of what zombie movies can be. So I was like, oh, a romantic comedy zombie movie. That's a new twist on like the topic. Obviously, I can do it with my wife where we can watch it. But yeah, I was impressed with it. I thought it had some really good ideas. I like the brain eating, giving you memories, even though that makes no sense. Same with zombies turning back into humans. None of that makes any kind of sense if you think about it for more than 5 seconds. But I do like it in like how they executed it. I wish they would have gone farther with it. I feel like they would have in like a drama, not like a romantic comedy. And then, yeah, I think all the characters in it were okay. And then it was funny enough. It was sweet enough, I guess. No cry moments. Again, if the Rob Corddry and his wife would have been reunited, that would have been maybe a spot to add like a sad moment. But overall, good movie. 7 out of 10. Never seen it before. She'd never seen it before. So yeah, that was Warm Bodies. Let us know what you think below in the comments. Thank you to my beautiful wife, Kelvin, for being here today, helping with this video. We'll be back tomorrow with...
We will not. I'll be asleep.
She'll be asleep. I will be back here tomorrow with the next movie on the, I believe, day 6 or 7 of Halloween Hullabaloo. I don't know what movie it is, so you'll find out right after this.